Everybody's fine.
Old stories say the gods watched from the edge of the sky as a royal pair took their first steps toward marriage. The scene feels half legend and half real, which fits Egypt well. A wedding here carried duty, faith, and calm strength. It shaped how the land saw its ruler and how the ruler saw the world. Dawn rose over the Nile, and the palace became alive. The pharaoh woke with the sun and skimmed a stack of state letters he probably wished were shorter. He bathed in cool water mixed with lotus and natron. Servants wrapped him in clean linen and lined his eyes with kohl. They oiled his skin and lit frankincense, calling on Hathor as they worked. Workers swept the floors and hung papyrus and lilies. The kitchen started roasting oxen and geese before the heat made everyone grumpy. The vizier kept the pace steady, while priests blessed the halls with water and short prayers. In the women's quarters, royal ladies sorted gifts and clothing for the new great royal wife. An elder pulled the pharaoh aside and told him to trust his future wife. Egyptian couples often said brother and sister as a sign of partnership. So, even a king needed the reminder. Then, at sunrise, he walked to the temple. Light hit the pylons as the high priest offered a blessing. The pharaoh placed incense and bread before Amun-Ra and Hathor and asked for harmony. Then he returned to guide the long week ahead. Messengers carried word of the marriage through the land. People hoped it meant fertility and stable harvests. Craftsmen hurried to finish gifts and jewelry. Scribes wrote the marriage contract and made sure every number was right. Rumors said the bride came from a noble house or a foreign court. The match promised stronger ties and a boost to the king's sacred image. And so, the week opened with hope, sweat, and careful steps as Egypt readied for the union. At dawn of day 2, the palace feels empty, like everyone agreed to sleep in. The pharaoh begins a day of quiet cleansing and long prayers. In a small garden, priests of Wepwawet run a rite meant to clear any trouble before the wedding. The pharaoh stands by a basin, while 4 priests pour scented water with lotus and rosemary over him from gold pitchers. They mumble blessings for purity and composed hearts. They touch his brow with oil to ready him for the gods and for his bride. Elsewhere, in the women's quarters, the hidden bride gets her own bath in a cool room that smells nicer than any human deserves. Her attendants wash her with water, milk, and honey, then dry her and dress her. They braid her hair, add a scented wig, paint her eyes and lips, and cover her in jewelry and clean white linen. By midday, the pharaoh walks to Karnak with priests and guards at his sides. He gives Amun-Ra fruit, bread, beer, wine, and a roast ox to ask for stable years ahead. At a palace shrine, or at the temple of Mut, the bride gives doves or lotus to Hathor for love and healthy children. Priests call on several gods for support. One ties a papyrus charm on her wrist. Another blesses a ring that the pharaoh will give her father to seal the marriage as a lawful contract. That evening, the royal family sits for a quiet meal that honors the dead. They pour wine on the floor for old rulers and eat roast duck, lentils, figs, and date cakes. A senior queen settles a small crown on the bride's head as a welcome. They speak of her family, which seems impressive enough. A sister or aunt of the king explains each custom so nothing feels strange. The day closes in quiet order as both families brace for what comes next. At sunrise on the third day, the bride begins her entrance. A small procession moves out from a riverside house. Musicians beat drums and blow trumpets. Standard bearers lift poles with the falcon and the serpent. Soldiers walk beside a blue chariot covered in gold that carries only the names of the king and the bride. The bride rides inside a covered litter carried by 16 men. Curtains with lotus signs hide her shape, though people sometimes spot a hint of her form. Her attendants walk beside her with gifts, a feather fan, and a small gold seat. Crowds fill the streets. Children climb roofs for a better look. Vendors forget their work for a moment. People shout and toss blue flowers and poppies along the road. Priests walk with the group while incense surrounds them. Envoys wait at the harbor or the city gate. Dignitaries from many lands bring silver, lapis, myrrh, rare wood, and fine cloth. Letters from foreign kings praise the pharaoh and call him brother, which likely made the royal scribes roll their eyes. No Egyptian princess ever travels out in return. By midday, the procession reaches the palace or temple gate. The pharaoh sits on a raised seat under a canopy and wears the white crown. Statues and priests of Ptah and Seth stand nearby like quiet guards. The litter is lowered and the bride steps out in gold linen with a jeweled collar, a gold belt, and a crown with the cobra and vulture. 2 officials guide her forward. Her father appears only if he is Egyptian. Later carvings show him standing behind her in a formal pose. They lift their hands in salute to the king and the gods. The bride bows or kneels before the pharaoh. The crowd responds with cheers. The pharaoh lifts her to stand beside him. Priests bless the meeting. A high priest sprinkles water. A priestess shakes a sistrum that rattles like a box of loose coins. The pharaoh gives her a gold ankh and a ring with their names. Her envoy offers a chest with her dowry. She gives the pharaoh a small flower garland. Trumpets sound again. They walk up the ramp and stand before the temple. The people see them side by side. He wears the white crown. She wears her wig and crown and looks like a figure from an old myth. If she comes from another land, she receives a new throne name. And with that, the sacred rites wait ahead. A priestess drops flowers and rings a bell. Courtiers bow. Music rises again. The pharaoh and his queen sit on their twin thrones and drink sweet palm wine. He looks relieved, and she looks like she can breathe again. More visitors bring gifts like alabaster vases, leopard skins, rings, linens, ivory boards, and bright metal. There's even sacred animals. Meanwhile, a herald names each giver. The pharaoh nods as if keeping score. The royal pair gives gifts in return, sometimes to the bride's father, if he is present. And as the ceremony closes, the high priest prays to Khnum for a strong heir. He calls on Bes and Taweret for the protection of future children. A white ox is then offered. And with that, the whole world is now prepared to feast and jubilate. The banquet hall fills with people sitting in tidy rows among flowers. Everyone wears clean linen, while small cones of scent slide down their wigs like slow accidents. Servant girls move through the crowd and hand out lotus blossoms. The pharaoh and his new queen sit on a raised platform with family. She wears a gold-threaded dress, a flower crown, and heavy jewels that could double as small weights. He wears the striped names and a wide collar. They sit close. Musicians continue to play harps, lutes, flutes, and drums. Dancers swing, clap, and twist in moves seen in Nebamoon's scenes. Their castanets snap through the noise. The hall cheers. The queen watches with wide eyes. The pharaoh looks pleased to have a front row seat. Servants carry trays of roast birds, spiced beef, Nile fish, bread, figs, pomegranates, and honey cakes. Guests drink beer and wine from royal vineyards. They raise cups and praise the bride. They look at the pharaoh, who leans toward his queen like he forgot he has an entire kingdom watching. A blind harpist sings, a song of love unending. He uses old verses that call the couple brother and sister, which always feels odd, but no one says anything. The hall then turns quiet. The pharaoh takes the queen's hand. He rewards the harpist with a gold ring. The evening rolls on as people drink, laugh, and honor the gods through noisy feasting. The pharaoh then orders more beer and extra oxen for the city squares. People in Thebes hold their own meals, so the whole place joins the celebration. The pharaoh then brings in his officials. The vizier and the general kneel and greet her as great royal wife and mistress of the two lands. She calmly thanks them. Her family or their envoys give gifts, and if her father is a foreign king, his ambassador reads a message of peace. The crowd answers with hopeful applause, because everyone likes fewer wars. The pharaoh lifts his cup and repeats the line about two countries moving toward unity. Meanwhile, the evening grows louder. Some guests dance after too much drink. A Libyan group stamps and claps. An old noble joins them and tries to keep up, which brings honest laughter. The pharaoh lets the fun run, but keeps himself stable for the wedding night. By late night, guests bow and leave with shaky legs. The pharaoh and queen step away to rest, and with that, Egypt settles into a sense of calm prosperity. The night turns toward the joining of the royal pair. The palace sits quiet at dawn, while servants prepare the chamber. They swap linens, toss a few flowers, and light incense that smells stronger than anyone asked for. The bed awaits, carved with lion paws and covered in gold cloth. Above it, Nut reaches toward Geb, which feels like a polite reminder of what comes next. Their embrace reflects the couple's duty to keep creation going, and the kingdom stable, too. The night is treated as sacred, though the room work looks anything but mystical. A Hathor priestess blesses the bed with oil and tucks away wax figures that look a little embarrassed to be there. She also leaves spiced date wine to warm the mood. And while the queen might feel shy, the pharaoh speaks softly and offers the wine that always tastes sweeter than it should. They set aside crowns, heavy jewels and clothes. Under the light canopy, they complete their marriage in a way that mirrors Horus and Hathor. Meanwhile, outside, servants keep still watch. Frogs sing in the garden like they got hired for the job. Priests say midnight prayers. At Khonsu's temple, they track the moon for signs. At Min's shrine, women chant for the queen's blessing. Then, long before dawn, the pharaoh lies awake with his wife resting on his chest. A week earlier, he slept alone. Now, he may lie beside the future mother of his children. He offers quiet thanks and feels a strong bond forming. When the queen wakes, she feels safe, whispers her thanks, and drifts back to sleep. Egypt lies under the fading moon, waiting for the promise of new life. And so, the week ends with the pharaoh united with his great royal wife. People see old signs of Isis and Osiris in their match. Carvings speak of healthy years and fields that grow as they should. The Nile shines at night while the couple rests in the palace. Much of what we know comes from later writers, royal records, and broken traces in the ground. Some parts stay clear, and some stay uncertain, which is why the past still feels alive. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you still haven't, and give this video a like to support our efforts.